Christmas and happy holidays from your boy EC22 and the Fairweather fan community. Just want to stop by and throw this quick video out there. J-Dub and D-Way, I gave them the holiday season off, but I could not. All this good stuff that was going on, I wanted to come out here and just do the video real quick and just upload it for my Fairweather fans out there, for your support. I appreciate it, for all the love. I appreciate it for all of you those who keep checking in on your boy. I appreciate it, man. But for those of you new here, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Join this conversation by adding comments, man. I got a good show for you, man. I got some things we want to talk about, man. We got Texas high school football. We got college football. We got men's and women's basketball, college, man. And we got the NFL, man. But right now, man, let's just get it, man. Let's dive into the conversation. Let's go. Yo, let's throw a real quick honorable mention. I did not have this on my list, but I wanted to make sure I get it on out the way, man. But listen, Texas Tech women, not Texas Tech, I'm so sorry for y'all. Texas A&M women volleyball team won the national championship game, man. So Texas A&M, I appreciate. Congratulations to all you women. Unfortunately, your men didn't know how to play football, but we'll talk about that later on. But you represented for the institution, so I appreciate you women volleyball, Texas A&M women, for winning the national championship. Listen, let's go get into some Texas high school football updates for you. The state championships has came, and we got some winners for 2025. So let's go ahead and get them on out there, man. Our state champions in the state of Texas, starting all the way with Conference 1A six-man division. Gordon, appreciate you guys. Congratulations to Gordon. Conference 1A six-man division 2. Jathan for winning state championship. Conference 2A division 1. Hamilton, state champions. We appreciate that. Conference 2A Division 2, Munster for winning the state championship. Congratulations, you guys down there. Conference 3A Division 1, Yoakum. Congratulations, state champs, as well as Conference 3A Division 2, Wall. Now we're getting into Conference 4A Division 1. Our Kilgore team we're rooting for lost the state championship to Stevensville. So congratulations, Stevensville, for being the Class 4A Division 1 state championships. Moving on to Conference 4A Division 2. Carthage, however, did not let us down. The team we're rooting for, they end up winning Class 4A Division 2 state champions. So congratulations to Carthage for doing your thing. Conference 5A Division 1, Frisco Lone Star. They let us down, but that's okay. Better luck next year. Congratulations to Como Smithson Valley for winning the Class 5A Division 1 state championship. Dallas, South Oak Cliff High School, my alma mater, they went out there and they done their thing, beating Richmond roundabout score 35-19, becoming the class this year's Conference 5A Division 2 state champions, and South Oak Cliff, third time winning state championship in 5 years. Moving on to Conference 6A Division 1, Duncanville fell short to Galena North Park Shore. So congratulations to North Shore for winning state 6A Division 1 state championship. All right. And DeSoto went out and handled business in popular fashion, beating Sheldon King by a score of 55-27, becoming the 6A Division 2 2025-2026 state championship. So there you have it. All our state championships is out there. If you know football, high school football, you can't talk about high school football without talking about Friday Night Lights right here in Texas, man. We know LA got their thing. We know Florida got their thing. But if you want to talk about some real good high school football, it's right here in the state of Texas. And let's move on. I want to congratulate the South Oak Cliff coach, my alma mater, South Oak Cliff head coach, Jason Todd, for becoming the first African-American coach to win 3 state championships, man. Congratulations, coach, for doing your thing, for the community, for not just having a good football team, but bringing a program, changing the narrative of our young people over in the South Dallas area, man. Our South Oak Cliff area, and just the energy you brought with that team, as well as others. And we already talked about in an earlier video how, with the school had to get renovated and stuff like that. But it's just people like Jason Todd who didn't give up on kids, who went out for and said, regardless, we're going to build this program and we're going to make this kid champion. So salute to all your faculty, staff, the South Oak High School, educators, and everybody, man, those who are coming to support, family, alum, all you guys, man, salute for help bringing our kids and showing them what excellence look like. Now, I cannot talk about the success and the high of South Cliff winning the state championship without talking about the low. Celebrated early that morning, they had 11 o'clock game, and later on that night, they met with some tragedy. A South Cliff player was accidentally shot by his teammate. Right now, we do not know the state of the child. Reports came out that he was in stable condition, is what the report came out. But other than that, that's all we know. So, man, you know, and the reason why I'm bringing out, because I'm like, why highlight the tragedy? Well, because there's things I want to say about it. If you watch early my videos, I haven't been a person who really gets on the political train when it comes down to gun control. I'm a gun advocate, so I don't really like to get into the gun control conversation, because I think the conversation can be misinformed, and people who are not against, who not for guns, are very uneducated. So I kind of stay away from the arguments. However, watch early video of mine, I am an advocate of common sense gun laws, if that makes any sense, because we want to make sure we keep these guns out of the hand of young people and people who are not fit to be responsible gun owners. We got to do something, right? We don't know, and I hope and I pray for this kid and his family and the young man who did the shooting. He's already been charged and booked. He's an 8-year-old kid, so it may trial him as an adult. And just the energy surrounding South of Cliff. You have a high, and then you got a low, and what's at the center? Gun. In the hands of a person who shouldn't be having a gun, who's not legally able to have a gun. I'm assuming. This just don't make any sense. So we got to do something. But once again, man, prayers out to the South of Cliff family, my alma mater. We just pray for the best of the situation. With that being said, yeah. Y'all seen the viral clips. Kids out there, AT&T fighting during the state championship, particularly on Friday. It was bad. I mean, Saturday. It was a lot. It wasn't fun. Now, I will say this. I don't want you guys who saw these video clips and come up with this big narrative that our kids don't know how to act. This is South of Cliff for fifth time being in the state championship, right? They played at Jerry World several times. So our kids know how to act. But once again, kids get into an environment, there's beef on campus, you know how this social media stuff work. Kids don't make great decisions, and then chaos happen, right? And I'm not making any excuses for kids. I just don't want anybody to have the narrative that start looking at the children like they don't know how to handle themselves. They do know how to handle themselves. We just got to make sure that they follow their instincts and make the right decisions. With that being said, it takes a village, y'all. It takes a village. Community activist Dominic Alexander, he came out and he gave put it on Facebook, made a Facebook post expressing his frustration and his aggravation with the situation. But I want to say this, and I want to make this bold statement, right? You don't have to be a community activist like Dominique. You don't have to be, a lawyer to be considered a community leader. You don't have to be a political affiliate or a lawman or a city official, whoever, clergy. See, you don't have to be any of these to be a community leader. If you're an adult, and I would say of the age of 30 and older, you have a voice and you are a community leader. Watching this video, and I know there were some adults that tried their best, but in the video, I did watch a lot of adults move away, walk away, get out of the situation. I ain't saying you got to get involved, because you're saying you don't know what these kids are on, but at least yell and say something, or at least try. We got to help police these young people, right? Kids will be kids, yeah, but when it comes down to disrupted, we got to say something. If you walk by a kid that's standing on a table, young little boy, little girl, get out. If you ain't my mama, okay, cool, keep moving. But at least you said something. I'll just throw it out there. I know it's hard, but this is what Dominique Alexander had to say in his statement. Yesterday, I began receiving multiple video clips of fights that occurred at AT&T Stadium during their high school state championship game. I do not care which specific game it was. What I care about is that this was supposed to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for our children, young people playing at the highest level of Texas high school football on one of the biggest stages in the world. Instead, some individual chose to turn that moment into total chaos and outright disrespect. As a leader in the community and someone who has traveled across the country advocating for the future of our children and fighting to ensure they are afforded every opportunity possible, I am not just disappointed, I am outright disgusted by what I saw and I cannot stand by and stay silent while I witness a large number of young people engaging in behavior that is embarrassing, harmful, and unacceptable. He then goes on to say, let it be clear, I'm not calling for public shaming. I am calling for accountability. If you are a parent and recognize your child in these videos, I ask that you have a real, honest, and uncomfortable conversation with them today. Hold them accountable. The only way we can change our current reality is by bringing the village back and refusing to excuse behavior that hurts our community and our children's future. And he had a lot to say. You can go on and find this post on his Facebook page, Dominic Alexander. But man, I agree with it. Young people, old people, we just got to do better. It takes a village. Enough said. Let's move on. Speaking of fighting, no pun intended. This was nonsense. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Listen, oh my God. Listen, let me say this first before I go on my rant. To the people that work for Netflix, speaking of the Lennox Lewises and the Andre Ward, all those people that was commentating, professional fighters, commentating, people who understand what competition is supposed to be like. I understand you are paid by Netflix and you cannot speak ill of your employer or the product they give out. I totally understand it. But when y'all was talking about, oh, congratulations for Jake Paul for taking his fight and at least getting in the ring. He was in there. He went 6 rounds with a. Listen, this fight was embarrassment. You can't see it because you're in the contract and I get it. But this EC from EC22, the Fat with the Fan. I got my own business, my own brand. And let me tell you right now, I stand 10 toes down and say that was embarrassing. Now, the fights they happened before, yeah, those were some good traditional boxing matches, right? But that fight, Jake Paul, is not a real fight. There is not an excuse that you can make to me. Because if you put, let's say, if Bobanu Jack came out there and fought any opponent, and he jumps down several times and holding on to the man's leg, what would y'all be saying? Kick him out the sport. Should I go down the list, or I can stop at Bobanu Jack? What if Tank Davis, and they would have kept this fight between Jake Paul and Tank Davis, and Tank Davis went down there and grabbed on Jake Paul's leg like that, like Jake Paul grabbed on him? What would y'all be saying? Tank soft. Can't box. Told you he was overrated. But then y'all got all these excuses for Jake Paul. He said he's a boxer. He wants to be taken serious as a boxer. But that right there was not boxing. The only sound voice in the whole arena while all these people giving him praises for taking this fight was the darn referee who said, y'all come here, fans that come to see this mess. And he looked at Jake Paul, if you're going to fight, then fight. Because that's what he didn't do. His whole MO was to run. His cornerman had no game plan but run and try to stick on the move. That was it. Not knock him out, just run. Try to win on scorecard. Run, hit him more times than he hit you and win on scorecard. That was his whole game plan, y'all, and that is not boxing. Not the way he did it, at least. Literally running. Floyd Mayweather is a master defender. Our guy, who just won it all, Terrence Bud Crawford, is a master defender. Know how not to get hit. They engage. Paul did not. It was bad. He got tired, got cornered, and got knocked the you-know-what out. Broken jaw and everything. That's not boxing, y'all. That's not boxing. Yeah, you can't take that dude serious, and I don't like it. And I don't like it one bit. But what I do appreciate is my boy Anthony Joshua getting a big payday, man. I think it was up at 30 mil for this fight. Congratulations. Yeah, I've been a fan of Anthony Joshua, and it's just hard to see him take a dive, losing some key matches. He just lost a big one to the boys. And y'all, it's just You know, I've always loved the guy, you know. But to get his big payday in an easy win, well deserved for the years he's been a champion and not getting a payday. Well deserved. If you don't fight another fight, sir, you've gotten your payday. So I appreciate you. And just him showing all the fans love at the end of the fight. He stuck around to make sure he tried to greet every as many fans as possible. The big smile on his face said it all, man, of what type of class act he is. All right. And that's the best day that came out of this fight. But Jake Paul, I hope you're done. I hope you're done. Keep promoting fights. Keep giving boxers opportunities. I don't know what you're going to do because we have gimmick fights like this. For some reason, they draw a lot of crowd. But if you can take this same energy, this same business model, and just have good fights and make sure you promote them the right way to give these other fighters a chance at big paydays without your shenanigans and being involved, then please, by all means, do it. Right? Let's revive the state of boxing, man. That's all I'm asking for, right? Let's move on. NCAA, I'm going to be honest with you. Now, I do not watch a lot of basketball, whether it be men's or the college or in NBA. I'll just be honest with you. I haven't been watching a lot of it. I've been catching highlights. Things have been jumping out. But there are players that I'm watching. When I do get a chance to flip on a game, I'm definitely want to make sure I watch these guys. And unfortunately, not unfortunately, but obviously, I should say, that the teams I'm watching from the Big 12, there you have it. And the player, right? I want to congratulate Texas Tech men's basketball program for coming out and squeaking out a tough game against Duke. Man, they were completely understaffed. The big man got in trouble early, so he couldn't really be there for his team. And then, of course, one of the players was out with injury. Man, they really could do the thing. But, man, I want to give a big shout-out to Christian Anderson, man, who stepped up with 27 points in that game, man. Offensive-wise, led his team to victory by scoring 82-81. But the unsung hero in that game was a guy who didn't get no points, a guy who rarely ever gets points, but was told he was going to get some minutes because one of their starters out, and that's our guy Nolan Groves, man. Listen, got out there, he didn't score no points. Played 13 minutes of the game. First shot was air ball. And I say that laughingly because sometimes it's not about the offense that you bring, it's about the defense. He had the honor, the privilege, and the responsibility for guarding the number one player in college basketball, Cameron Boozer. And oh, did he do a good job. Cameron still got his points. Don't get it wrong. He still got, I think, with 20-some points. But, man, it mattered in the moments that it mattered the most. Nolan was on him. And I appreciate that, man. But my favorite players in men's basketball, the ones I'm watching, obviously coming from Big 12, BYU's AJ. I never can say his name, but I'm gonna try right now. The Badster. Hope I'm doing right. I just call him AJ from BYU. But I got my boy JT Toppin from Texas Tech, Darren Peterson from Kansas, and PJ Haggerty from Kansas State. And then I gotta give my honorable mention that's not from the Big 12, but a guy who I'm really watching is who we just talked about, Cameron Boozer, as well as his fraternal twin brother, Caden Boozer, man. These are the sons of Carlos Boozer. I didn't like Carlos Boozer in Duke, and his two kids are playing in Duke. It is what it is. But I became a fan of Carlos Boozer when he made it to the NBA, man. I love this guy. I've always loved his demeanor. Always felt like he was an underrated player. But it is what it is. He's a Hall of Famer. He's an NBA legend in my eyes. So let's see what his kid can do right now. So I'm doing my kudos to them. Women's basketball, I've been trolling them, but my favorite players in women's basketball, and you already know because you've heard me say it so many times. Let's start with Texas, Madison Booker, and our running mate, Rory Harmon. I love those two women. I love what they're bringing up. Handheld Doggo and Cassandra Prosper for Notre Dame. UConn, you already know Azzy Fudd and Sally Strong, who I'm rooting to come to Dallas, if not Laura Betts. But anyway, TCU, Olivia Miles is doing a thing, and then our girl, Audi Crooks, man, over at Iowa State. Her last game, she put up, 44 points, I think, in 30 minutes. Let's check a few of our highlights from that game. Let's go.
And she has 40. Crooks, Meister again. Audie trying to find space, and she does. Not a whole lot Meister could do there.
Absolutely. Coming off those ball screens and making Audie Crook make a decision. Is she going to step up?
Candace has now turned it over 3 times on their last 4 possessions. Audie just.
I really.
That's just so unfair. That's so unfair, man. Audie Crooks. For those of you who are NCAA women's basketball historian, tell me, who did she remind you of years ago? Okay, I'll kill the suspension. Danielle Adams. I've said it so many times. Danielle Adams, Texas A&M superstar, took them to a national championship. She came to the league, played for the San Antonio Silver Stars. Now she's overseas playing. But man, this young lady was a beast in her prime. And even though she's overseas playing right now, she's still doing the same. Here's a clip of Danielle Robinson as she's down there cooking overseas. There she is. Down the post. Ooh, good stuff. Why does she go through two defenders right here? Split. Whoop, whoop. Oh, just in the face. There you go, Evan. So they are similar players, man. There are some remarks that came out about Audie Crooks, and some of the same remarks came out about Danielle Adams as she went into the WNBA. And I'm not going to repeat those remarks. I think they're insensitive, but it was more along the line of body shaming. Listen, we're not going to do that. If you made those comments, you're not going to do that. All right. Light on their feet, can still play, dominating their sport. It is what it is. We're not going to do that, right? Let's not do that. All right, no need to highlight that anymore. Man, listen, let's go on to some college football playoff or the shame that it was, man. Listen, trash. And I ain't trying to act like Bubba Dub, but if he was here in his podcast with me, I would let him take over and call it trash because that's what it was. And as much as I love what Tulane was able to do for their organization and the excitement they brought to their fan base and to the alumni, and I feel the same way about James Madison. Let me be clear. They do not or did not belong in the CFP. Let's call it what it is. And that's really crazy coming from me because I've been an advocate of other teams besides the Power 4 or 5 get in because I'm like, but man, and I've changed because you guys made me change. You guys helped me understand what it means to, on these big stages, to put out a product, a game that the fans can be a proud of. And this was they showed us that they probably won't be invited back regardless of what their record is. And I say the same thing against teams who had pretty decent records with Miami and Texas A&M. Now, that was pitiful. Pitiful. You hear what I'm saying? I mean, Miami, y'all didn't even win. Y'all conference still don't even know how y'all got in. And Texas A&M, I mean, man, y'all was working all weekend and y'all came up and chose this game to suck. This is bad. This is if it wasn't for Alabama and OU, man, the first round would have been just a complete wash. So at least thank those teams for giving us a good game for at least for the first quarter, because second half, OU was no show. But that's what it is. Let's move on along, man. Listen, our boy DK Metcalf caught himself into a little bit of a fickle, man, with a fan, man, and I don't like it. Who's at fault? DK or the fan? If you don't know what I'm talking about, the viral clip went, they showed DK Metcalf grabbing the fan by his shirt, pulling him down across the stands, believed to be saying something to him. Then as DK got through talking to the fan, he shoved the fan up into the stands and he walked on off. And for that little altercation, he was suspended 2 games, which is the average of $500,000 of money he's gonna be missing. Suspended 2 games unpaid, which is worth over, I think, $500,000, $500,000. Here's a rant. I'm going to answer this question by saying it's clearly the fans. And I know y'all say these professional players, they get $1 million, they should be able to control their emotions. Those coming from the fans who like to talk crap to the players. That's not fair. The men, the women, the athletes, the people. Nobody deserves to get talked to crazy. On no level. Everybody's personality is different. Just because some people can handle it better than others, we still got to hold these ignorant fans accountable for their actions. yeah, DK was held accountable. The fans say he didn't say nothing, so we don't know what's going to happen with him. He was allowed to stay in the game. Usually sometimes when altercation happens, for the safety point, they go ahead and kick the stand out for the rest of that game, but they allowed this fan to stay. What I would love to see, I would love the league, because you've already sent out a message to the players plenty of time. This ain't the first time a player got suspended for interacting with a fan or even fined. We've seen players get kicked out for the whole league, for a whole season, and stuff like that. But at what point are we going to send a strong message to the fan base? Yeah, you may kick a fan out here or there, ban some fans for life, but the behavior keep happening, right? I believe what happens when you start siding heavily with the players. Say, no, we're not going to suspend DK. We know DK. We know who he is. Whatever it was that caused DK to lose his cool, to walk over to the stands and pull that fan down and have some church words for him, then shove him back into the stands, that fan had to say something very disrespectful. DK alluded to the fact that he said some a racial slur about his mother. The fans say he didn't say nothing. You did something, sir. Because if you didn't say nothing, you wouldn't be at that point where he can reach up and grab you. You could have been sitting there because he couldn't jump up in the stands. You had to have been right there at the edge of the stand saying something. Disrespectful. See, that's what I'm talking about. Send a message saying we're going to support our players. That's all I'm saying. How we do that, man, that's a whole nother conversation because I got an outline. If the NFL come ask me, oh, I got an outline for you, I'll talk about it at a later date. If you want me to talk about my outline to keep the players and the fan, keep the energy of the game strong, but make sure the players stay away from. Hey, tell me in the comment section, and we'll definitely have an episode where I outline what I believe would be a strategic way to keep both parties happy and keep both parties from engaging with each other. And the center of all that is called accountability. Anyway, man, let's move on from that, man. Our guy, Aaron Glenn, man, his job security has been in question all week long because of the Jets. We saw what happened last year with Coach Gerard Mayo in New England. One and done, coach. Fired. You bring in Vrabel and then Bow. Best team in the league. I don't know how I think it's going to happen to the Jets. Rumors are that the fan base is impatient. They want things to win right now. Listen, Jets, Jets, Jets. Let me tell you something. Y'all have been in this situation for a mighty long time. Why all of a sudden now you impatient? You've been used to this. Should be used to this by now. I'm not saying that just accept anything, but I think what Aaron Glenn is there trying to do is like any coach trying to build a program. Give him a year in offseason to get the players that he wants. Then there's not a lot of y'all need a quarterback. There's no strong quarterback coming in the draft. So you're going to lead a little bit more patient while he do his mojo, while he get with the GM, the coach staff, and all the execs, and see can they build a team that can go out there and compete. And they can show this man true skills at coaching. He didn't have the same setup that Ben Johnson, his ex-colleague, had. He didn't have the same setup. Man got a bad setup. So be patient with him. But don't not fire Aaron Glenn after one season. That would just be disrespectful to football everywhere. All right, enough of that. NFL playoff picture, man. Listen, let me give my quick media rant, and I'm off this thing, man. Listen. So, on First Take, it was Dan Orlovsky, Cam Newton, and Damien Woody were having a conversation, particularly about the Pittsburgh Steelers and their win against the Detroit Lions. And they was talking about the fact that, okay, listen, both Cam and Dan Orlovsky, as well as Damien, agreed that Pittsburgh, they're right there. Believer, not a believer, believe they're good enough to win one playoff game. But all except Damien believe they couldn't win 2 games. Damien Woody suggested that they can go deep in the playoff based on what he's seen out of them. But Dan Orlovsky and Cam Newton, man, were they animated in their disagreements, to say the least. And I just want to break down what I don't understand the why they would disagree. And as I side with Damien Woody on this one, EC22, the fan with the fan, because I'm looking at the AFC, right? I'm looking at And number one, Denver Broncos are 12-3. New England Patriots are 12-3. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 11-4. And at the fourth spot, sitting the Pittsburgh Steelers at 9-6. The playoffs were to start right now. Pittsburgh would be in at the fourth spot. More than likely going up against a Los Angeles Chargers team who's sitting at 11-4. At 6, we have the Buffalo Bills at 11-4. At 7th spot will be the Indianapolis Colts at 10-5. The number one, not in that though, but the Houston Texans at a 10-5, and the best defense in the league. All teams can be considered better than the Pittsburgh Steelers. However, all of them agree that the AFC is wide open. Nobody knows who's the front runner. They're calling Denver Broncos fool goal. They're calling New England fool goal. They don't know who's going to come out. Jacksonville's fool goal. They don't know. But you don't believe the Pittsburgh Steelers can go deep? Now, if you suggested that the Pittsburgh Steelers can at least win one game, that would mean if the playoff ended right now, they would have to be an 11-4 Los Angeles Chargers team. Okay? Let's call it what it is. If they can beat the 11-4 Chargers team, then they can beat any other team on this whole playoff roster. If they win 2 games, that would put them in the AFC Championship game, which by most people's opinion or account, that would be called going deep in the playoffs. So Cam Newton, Dan Orlowski, get at your boy. I need you to further explain your position, because y'all agree that there's not a clear front runner for this AFC. Y'all all agree that Pittsburgh can lose one game. If they can beat the Chargers, they can beat other teams with similar record. That's my opinion. And with that, y'all, that's my EC22 media rant. And that's all we have for today. Once again, man, happy holidays to you guys, man. Thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, share, leave comments, join the conversation. This is your boy EC22. Once again, much love to J Dub and Coach D-Way and all my boys over, and it's definitely my boys over at Face Talk Sports Radio with Lewis Medford, Officer TJ Claiborne, and Coach Martez Turner, man. Love you guys, man. Happy holidays. This is your boy EC22, and we're out.